I have been working really hard to get this new home studio set up over the past few weeks, and I'm really stoked with how it turned out. Here's a little bit of that process and some of the gear I'm using currently in my studio. Thank you to Sweetwater for sponsoring today's video. And let's start by talking about the desk. I get a lot of questions about this because it's not your typical studio desk. It's actually a dining table from World Market. I just love the size of the desktop. I don't know if I would recommend it because it's a little too tall for a studio desk, and sometimes I get some shoulder pain, which I think is caused by the desk being just a little bit too high for my computer chair. This riser is the Bololo setup cockpit, which allows me to attach different accessories. It kind of makes up for the fact that this desk is just a dining room table. My speaker stands are also from Bololo, so they match very well, and I put Mackie monitors on those speaker stands. My KRKs didn't officially die, but they did start overheating quite a bit, and one of them started buzzing every time I turned them on, so I guess RIP to the KRKs. And we are going to mount a bunch of stuff to the desk and the setup cockpit. That includes my monitor, my overhead camera, my audio recorder, my main monitor, the monitor from my PC, which we'll get into for a little bit. It's all getting mounted to the desk. Pro tip if you are moving, these Stormtrooper helmets can help transport a lot of little gear, cameras, little tech, but not so great for your wife's Lego flower. We should probably fix that before she finds out.
No, don't worry. I'm gonna fix it.
Too late. I fixed it.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Now this is really specific to streaming, but I use the Roland VR1 HD to connect all of my cameras, the input from my computer, all of the audio, which allows me to mix that all together in stream essentially. And the main computer that I do all the work on, what you see on the monitors, that's my M1 MacBook Pro. I do all the music production, all the video production, everything on that computer. But it's almost like a desktop setup because it's just kind of tucked away in the corner. Now the HDMI out from the MacBook runs to that streaming mixer. The streaming mixer goes to a PC. And this PC, my friend built it for me in like 2017 or 2018. So we should definitely clean this out first. Tuck it down below to the side of the desk, connect a little tiny PC monitor. Again, I'm only using this PC to run OBS and stream, so I don't need a big screen and I don't need fancy specs or anything. But now with all this gear connected, the cable management situation is looking kind of rough, so let's solve that. Before and after. Even though I've got a lot of keyboards, I haven't had a multi-tier keyboard stand before. But recently I got this on-stage keyboard stand from Sweetwater, the sponsor for today's video. It was very easy to assemble and it gives me the opportunity to have a couple keyboards kind of always at the ready, since the gear on my main desk is always changing. The keyboards I've chosen to keep here for now are the Rolly C-board for some sweet MPE action, and the AstroLab, which I can just sit here and play without even turning the computer on. It's a little redundant seeing I could just load up the Arturia VSTs on the computer, but again, not having to turn the computer on, being able to sit here and just play does have its added benefit. And I'm using the Witty Bud Pro to send MIDI via Bluetooth to my computer, so I can also use this as like my bigger MIDI keyboard. The stand is nice and sturdy, and I was able to adjust it easily to fit both of these keyboards. If you're looking for a stand or any other gear, check out Sweetwater. Links are down in the description. Now at this stage, all of the gear was coming together, but the studio was looking kind of bland. So I headed to Home Depot and I got 4 of these panels. They're about $35 each, and they really helped the room to transform into a much warmer kind of cabin vibe. And I got to learn to use a new tool. And I also got to learn the old adage, measure twice, cut once. This was quite a difficult task to cut around the outlet holes and to make sure they were the right height. It took all day, but it came together quite well, in my opinion. add in a couple shelves with some decor, and we've got kind of a nice vibe going. But now it's time to make some music. When I don't have any real ideas, I like to just start with weird sounds. So if we take that equator sound and sample it in granulator, it gives us a kind of weird abstract start. From there, I'll just start selecting some drum samples, maybe a percussion loop, and we'll get the drum groove down. Then just some noodling on the AstroLab, find a couple synth sounds that I like. And now we'll use the AstroLab as a controller using Ableton's Drift synth. I'm gonna double that melodic line that we just made onto a sub bass and just keep the root notes. And of course, I love to use vocal samples. So I'll find one and then we'll chop it up. Lower that by an octave and layer it with the original. One more splice loop, just one more layer of percussion energy. It's jam time now. By the way, I got this print or lithograph, which was hanging in my great-grandmother's house. I always loved this. Not sure where I'm gonna hang it yet. My wife thinks it's a little spooky. What do you think?